Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 184 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of January the 25th through the 31st, 2021. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And I'm Liamet.
And we are opening the recipe box. Had to put the right sound effects in. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studio South, a.k.a. my house. We are practicing social distancing and using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern. If you're listening to us on one of your favorite podcatchers like Apple Podcast, Stitcher, or Spotify, or any others like that, we'd appreciate a like, a follow, and a rating. It would help us tremendously. This episode of The Man Who Ate the Town is brought to you by Carrabba's Italian Grill. This is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants. Carrabba's and their owner partners take the communities they serve very seriously. Try the chicken brine or the new Tuscan ribeye. You can't go wrong with the chops or either of my personal favorites, the Johnny, which is steak and chicken, y'all. Come on. Mm-hmm. Or the chicken trio, which is the chicken brine, the pollo rosa, and the chicken marsala. Follow Carrabba's on social media and carrabbas.com. So baked just
they're gonna say their marsala is like, oh my god, to die for.
Yes,
it is so good.
It is. And you know, I'm not a huge chicken masala fan, but I like theirs a lot. And I'm not saying that because they're my sponsor. I'm saying it because it's good.
I've always been a fan, and theirs is some of the best I've ever had. Yeah, it's amazing.
I had a conversation with someone last week, and they say, you know, I just don't go to Carrabba's because there's so many good Italian places around here. I said, well, the thing you got to remember, this is not an Italian restaurant. This is an Italian grill. They are not trying to compete with the Delicios and the BLL rotisserie factories and the Cibos and the those things. That's not their market. Their market is an Italian grill. So they say, well, that makes sense. So hopefully that person goes, because they're a foodie. Hopefully they go to Carrabba's. Baked Just So announced that they are opening a second location. This one in Louisville.
Nice.
And this is going to be in the shopping center that you get to easiest from Williams Road, the Louisville exit there. Mm-hmm. It's exciting news for Stacy. Her stuff is delicious, and she posts great pics, and we know how much I love good food photography. So congratulations to Stacy and Bake Just So. This is in the Food Line Shopping Center there in Louisville.
There's a lot of traffic through there. That'll be a good spot for her.
Yeah. So she's not moving from where she's at over on, what is that, Robin Hood, out in the boondocks, but she is going to be there on the second location, so I'm very excited about that. I wish I would have gotten to break that news or at least talk to her about it, but one of her customers come and did a video for it, so that was they did a really good job. So yeah, it was just for their company, but it worked out well. It was a good video. So
it's nice when you get customers that become fans and want to go to that level for you.
Yes.
Or says something.
Talk about them on a podcast. So Stephanie and I went to one of our other sponsors, Diamondback Grill, this past Saturday night. It was Burger Bonanza night. She had the Heritage Harvest Mushroom Jack Burger with sauteed oyster and shiitake mushrooms with Monterey Jack cheese, sriracha aioli, and I had the green chile cheeseburger with green chilies, mustard, shredded lettuce, light on that, by the way, tomato, pickles, American cheese, red onion, and a potato bun. Diamondback Grill is casual dining located in the heart of Buena Vista, and it is a fantastic family-owned farm-to-fork restaurant that sources most of its ingredients from local farmers, which means the food is always fresh. They are at 751 Avalon Road. Find them on the web at diamondbackgrill.com and on Facebook and Instagram. We did sit outside, and it was colder than a well digger's ass, but we were bundled up, and the servers, at least not to us, didn't act like they minded coming out to wait on us out there. It was right beside the door, so it wasn't like they had to go very far. But
it's not way over yonder's, Tim.
yeah. You have to go outside. No matter which direction you go, you have to go all the way to the middle of the building. No, this was come out, and there we were. But
yeah.
But they're so hospitable there, and it's it really helps for us not being able to eat indoors a lot, especially in crowded places. And they were, I won't say packed, they were spaced, but they had a lot of people in there that night, which is a good thing because times are tough. And and it was so good. We also had the calamari there too. Usually we get those lump crab hush puppies, but I said, let's try something different this time. And we got the calamari, and it was really, really good too. I like the house-made remoulade.
Saw the pictures you had out on Instagram, man. I was like, all right, I'm watering. My mouth is just like, please give me some of that. It just looks so good.
Yeah, I'd never had one of their burgers before. So being as it was Burger Bonanza night, and you can still order off the regular menu. You don't have to go from the specials menu. But, hey, if it's a themed special, I wish we would have gone on Friday because Friday was prime rib night.
Oh.
And I love some prime rib.
So now you know what to do this Friday night.
Yeah, yes. Well, this Friday night this Friday night all the way to the Friday, like the first or second Friday in March, is for the Sir Winston pop-ups for Roar. I have a reservation every Friday from here until that's over. So, yeah. Cool. So
that'll be fun stuff to hear about.
Speaking of which, this today actually starts the Blue Crab pop-up there at Sir Winston's. And again, I have resis for Friday night, so I will report next week what I thought of it. I missed the arepa pop-up, but I have a friend of mine who sent me a text and says, hey, if you haven't tried it, this arepa pop-up is awesome. And I said, for whatever reason, and I can't figure out why, I didn't make reservations for that one. So I missed it, but I'm sure that when the time comes, I will get my opportunity to try it. So
you got an inside connection there. You might be able to, at least get something to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Blue Crab starts tonight and it goes through Friday or Saturday. I think Saturday.
I have a Diamondback question for you.
Okay.
You had the burger.
Yeah.
Well, the BCPF had the burger, but
I had the burger too.
Do you think it would have made it into the top of the burger list?
Oh.
I mean, I realize it's a specialty burger, so technically it would not have qualified. Right. It had to be something that was on the regular menu. But was it good enough that if it was, that it could have potentially made it into the top 10?
If it wasn't top 10, it would certainly be top 15, probably top 20.
Good.
It would make it up there. And, Stephen and I, Street Team Stephen, had talked about, trying to push the summer of cheesesteaks or whenever of cheesesteaks this year, like I did the burgers in 2019 and 2020 just got messed up. But, with so many of the places closed that was on that list now that are not even around anymore, I'd almost kind of like to revisit the summer of burgers with a whole fresh start and see where these places ended up, because I know for a fact that, just going off what I know right this second, Boondoggies would still be number one. But Nick's Burgers, Nick's Burgers in Welcome would probably be a close, if not tied for number one, close to. It's just that damn good. That's just a really, really good burger.
Does it it doesn't have to be a burger place though. So
no, because
Mojitos and their burger.
West End was in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that mojito burger.
Yeah, which is not called the Frito burger anymore. It's now the Mojito burger.
Well, that's some good stuff right there. Let me just tell you.
And back to them for a second. The new truck there at Fiddlin' Fish, has burgers and stuff because their theme is American bar food. So burgers is one of their things.
That's Tuning Fork.
Yeah, Tuning Fork Provision. Well, speaking of, since you brought that up, let's talk about them. Street Team Steven tried out the Tuning Fork Provision, which is owned by our friends across the street from Tuning Fork Provisions, Fiddlin' Fish, Mojito, Latin Seafood, Soul Food. And I'm going to see if next week we can get Steven to come on to talk about his experience there. And I'm going to see if Michael from Mojito will come too so they can discuss it together. But Mojito Latin Soul Food is the place to get your Latin-inspired dishes. One thing I haven't tried, but I want to try, is the Mojito Bowl. There are several to choose from. The lechon, which is pork, pollo, which is chicken, the masitas, which is pork chunks, maduros, fried plantains, the ropa vieja, which is shredded beef and tomato sauce, and the not the vata frica, which is the last one, the crispy shredded beef. And there's also the fake meat option, but I skipped that one. But if you're into that, it's there. So check Mojito Latin Soul Food out on their Facebook page and MojitoLatinSoulFood.com. But
you said you're sorry, and you should have. You should be sorry because you didn't hand me all of that food. You're just talking about it. Oh my God, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Well, and I can tell you, Ray, that we were at Fiddlin' Fish maybe a week and a half ago, and ordered from Mojito, and they ran it over. Ain't nothing better than ordering some of the fried pork belly, and then it just appears, and you have it with your beer. And I had the hardest time deciding between the tacos and the burger. Finally settled on the tacos, and they're just so good. I mean, and for it to just come across the street, and it's like, hey, here you go.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was
because I love Fiddlin' Fish's beer, especially their stouts are really good. So yeah, I love this idea. That may be what we end up doing Friday. Friday's my daughter's 21st birthday.
Happy birthday, Francesca.
I will tell her we're looking at going to Mojitos so I can get her first official legal drink.
Yeah.
Legal.
Yeah.
I won't say that it's her first. I'm just saying it's her first legal beverage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, happy birthday to her. Canteen is scheduled to reopen today. They will be open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't know, and I don't think they know what the plan is moving forward. And I think Claire kind of likes it that way. It leaves.
She had a lengthy post on Instagram that I saw earlier this morning.
Yeah,
kind of talking about their journey.
Yeah.
Up to this point, and if you've been following it, I recommend going and read that post on Instagram from Canteen.
Yeah.
So you see that because it's touching. Yeah, I'm impressed with what they've done.
Yeah, and I think they like leaving it open to interpretation because right now it can go in so many different directions once all this mess is over. So I like that they're not plotting a course that may change after they've promised it. This way, they just leave it open for interpretation and see what happens. And I like that idea.
Makes it a lot easier to pivot and flex as you need to.
Sure.
But I also appreciate that they're willing to be that kind of creative too.
Yep. So last week we had Daniel Spivey from Broad Branch on. I will say that Broad Branch sold out of their signed bottle pre-order in 3 minutes.
What?
100 bottles gone in under 3 minutes.
You know, he said, I think they're going to go kind of fast because there's a lot of people asking about them.
Yeah.
Kind of fast.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
I got my bottle. I was able to get mine. And Street Team Steven got his. That's why when he stopped there, it's when he stopped at Tuning Fork Provision to try it. So
did they sell out of the rest of the barrel?
Saturday they went on sale, and they are sold out of those now too. So
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So that is awesome. I went by on Wednesday. That was on Tuesday. I went by on Wednesday and hung out with Daniel a little bit. We got to try some really good stuff that's coming along. I also got to talk with John Fergakis, who is the owner, Joe Tappy and Donnie Jenkins, who are the distiller and co-distiller and number one dude over there. I actually listened to part of last week's episode of the podcast with them, standing there in the distillery. Since Donnie and Joe are musicians, Donnie and I got into a conversation about studio equipment and microphones and things like that.
Shop.
Yeah. Their Saturday bottle release was such a success. It sold out that day. I'm not sure how fast. So
if it's anything under or over 3 minutes, then it moves slow.
Yeah. Well, one person who
just barely crawled out of here.
One person who was there whenever I was picking my bottle up came from Charlotte. They had heard about it, and they're in kind of a bourbon club. They call themselves the NC Burb Crew. BURB, but it's like bourbon crew, like Motley Crue. But he was there. They had bought it online, and he came and got it from Charlotte. So, and what else does that tell us? That people are paying attention to the spirits industry in this town and the surrounding areas. So that makes me very happy.
Well, for them to come that far, not only is the word gotten out, but the word's gotten out that it's good.
Yeah.
It's worth the drive.
Oh yeah. And I got
that says something.
I've not cracked a seal on it because it's not my bottle alone. I went in with John and Paul from the Beer Dads on that, but we haven't cracked it open yet. We're waiting for, I guess, so we're all three together. But my bottle number was number 56, and I got to pick my bottle. I think that was the lowest available number that I could get. I was trying to find 100 and couldn't, because how cool would it have been to be the 100 of the 100, but because I was going to go by on Tuesday, and I was going to get there early, but I had a client that I had to take care of, and that by the time I got finished with that, it was after 4, and they close at 4 during the week, so I had to wait till Wednesday. But it was really cool hanging out with them. Stephanie and I went back to Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar Saturday night, and that was actually my second time this week, or last week, because I went on Thursday as well.
You remember when I told you I couldn't remember what my mother-in-law had, but she really loved it?
The shakshuka. Yes.
It was that.
Yeah. Stephanie had the shakshuka, and that's what I had Thursday. She had it for two reasons. One, I went on and on and on about it. And two, she loves shakshuka, but she had never had it outside of her making it herself here at home. So I tried the Italian Faro and egg bowl. Lots of flavors in that. Lots of flavors. And we actually ate indoors. There were minimal amount of people in there. So, and everybody in there was doing their thing to be safe and healthy. So, I told Stephanie that I planned on eating there a lot, and she was happy because after looking at the menu, she was delighted with the offerings and that it's healthy, very healthy. So, yeah, great stuff, y'all.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
What is?
And I gotta say, reasonable.
Oh yeah.
Just want to say that out loud.
Yeah. What is what?
What is shakshuka?
Shakshuka is
Bless you.
Yeah, I had no idea myself, but man, it looked good.
It's a tomato-ish. It's an Israeli or actually a North African dish that's big in the whole Middle East. I'm gonna pull it up so I can tell you. I know what it is, but I don't want to mess it up. And I know if I do, Stephen will drag me through something to tell me how wrong I was. And that's okay.
Yes,
and that's okay because
that's his role.
That's his role. That's exactly right. So shakshuka, eggs poached in a sauce of tomatoes, olive oil, pepper, onion, and garlic, and commonly spiced with cumin, paprika, cayenne pepper, and nutmeg. I know that Clementine's uses honey in theirs, and they make theirs with Sunnyside eggs, cumin, honey, and za'atar.
So here's another thing to keep in mind. When you go to Clementine's and you see all this great stuff on the menu, you're like, what is that? Understand that you're going to get an education along the way.
Yeah. And lavosh is like the unleavened Armenian flatbread. I know.
So there you go.
That's that.
Those of us that have not spent much time in Armenia now have a better idea of what the bread's like.
Za'atar is a culinary herb or family of herbs. It is also the name of a spice mixture that includes the herb itself, along with sesame seeds, dried sumac, and salt and other spices. So, but anyway, if you look on my Instagram page, either from Thursday or Saturday, you'll see it's a lot of tomato with eggs on top and a lot of onions and things like that inside.
Yeah.
It was really, 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 really good. I thought it was going to be on top of grits because it was surrounded by grit bowls, but it wasn't. I'm kind of glad it wasn't, but I would have liked to have seen what it was with the grit bowl. I could probably ask them to add that, and they probably would. But I would like to see how it goes with it. But yeah, we'll get to it, I'm sure. This is not the last time that I'll be there, so we will go from there. Leah, you've been away for a little bit. Everything okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm over my nose and head in papers.
Schoolwork?
For school.
Yeah.
So, yes. This professor has very high expectations, especially around APA style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as someone who's not been in school for 20 years, it's been a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I can say, as a coping mechanism, we did go over to Radar Brewing, sat outside, of course, and they've got those tower heaters.
Yeah.
Which I kind of was like, we're going to freeze. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. And of course, they have some good beer over there as well. So if Ray, you need another spot to take
Francesca.
Your kid.
Yeah. Radar Brewing.
Not your kid, your young adult. And then we went over to Finnegan's because we just love that place. And I have to say, I had the yellow meal of chips. They're fried chips, so good, and Sammy's. And then, of course, to add to that yellow, I got a side of mac and cheese.
Of course you did.
Is it called the yellow meal?
Right. I call that yellow meal because it's all yellow.
Okay.
I needed Opie to just change it. Let's just call it yellow meal. But it was really good. And we actually sat inside and ate, and he's got it spaced out really nice in there. We were at that grand table, the family table that's in the back, so we kind of felt like we should have sat at opposite ends.
Yeah, that's my favorite table in the place. I love it.
It's cool because you're kind of tucked away.
Yeah. That was always our table at trivia. My trivia team was always there.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. I love those hot chips though. I mean, maybe with the burgers thing, we need to do a hot chips Because any other place that I've gone here in town that has hot chips, I'm disappointed. So I'm almost like I only eat hot chips with a side of mac and cheese because that's makes sense.
Of course it does.
Cheesy potatoes. I like it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just good stuff. So, but yeah, I've just been hunkered down doing schoolwork and then eating. Have y'all eaten at that Rockin' Moroccan food truck?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we got
Not
that.
yet.
We got that the other day too. They got some good.
Where were
stuff. They? They were down at Jughead's.
Okay.
Jughead's. Okay.
Yep, and I think they're a Greensboro truck that sometimes they come over. But they've got some good gyros and saffron chicken, and the sauce is pretty good. You'll be breathing garlic the rest of the day, so.
Nice.
That's not a problem.
I was gonna say now's a good time to be eating this stuff, especially with the fire breath.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be around so many people right now. So.
Yeah. So we've been getting out here and there, just trying to support local and, of course, drink local. I mean, that's.
Well, are you doing the hashtag Takeout Pledge WS?
So I saw that, and I have not done my hashtags like I've been doing.
Yeah,
so.
put some hashtags out there. It's just for awareness. Did you guys see the video that I did? I did a video.
No, I missed that.
No.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page and on my YouTube channel, not on the Man with the Town, but my personal one.
Okay.
But there's also a post about it on the blog too. So. It's just really just talking about what the Takeout Pledge WS is and what it entails and why we should do it. And it's basically just it's a silent pledge. Basically, I mean, no one can hold you accountable for not doing it, So it's just you saying that I plan on supporting the local businesses. It's not just food either. It's called Takeout Pledge, but it could be buying stuff from a retail place, getting gift cards, using a service, anything around town. Just twice a week you pledge to patronize a local business, Winston-Salem based business. The Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership, of course, wants you to push the downtown businesses, but I said in my video, I'm about Winston-Salem. I don't care if it's downtown or the surrounding parts of it, neighborhoods. It should just be Winston-Salem to me. And that's okay, because, they're Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership. That's who they push, right? So, so they should. And when I was downtown for the couple of things I did, I included the DTWS on hashtag on mine as well. So anything else going on the list that you know of? Any news or anything happening?
No, just seems like people are just doing their thing slowly but surely. But there's still some adjustments on some hours here and there, so it's always good to check before you go.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, people are just doing the best that they can with what they have.
Exactly. I don't have any guests this week, so we're just going to move on to the food holidays. But first, Washington Perk Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You can find a little bit of everything at the Perk, a chip corner, a deli to get your sandwich on the go, fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources, bingo, bango, sodas, Wolfie's custard, a wall of beer and wine, and more. Washington Perk is better than the convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they're Washington Perk, or at Washington Perk_DTWS on Instagram. So today,
and if you see Tim in there, you can ask him to sign your sub.
That's right. I can sign your sub. I will.
Get an autograph.
Yeah.
Nice.
If I get half of it. So,
yeah, pay attention to those fine details, folks.
Details. Fine print.
Yeah. So today is the 25th of January. It's National Irish Coffee Day. Irish coffee, if you don't know, is coffee with Irish whiskey like a Jameson or a Tullamore Dew or Bushmills or something like that, with a little bit of sugar mixed in and topped with cream. And some people, for the cream, add Bailey's Irish cream to make it even more Irish. I think that's the way you should do it.
It's more Irishy that way.
It is. It's Irishy. Irishy.
Irishy. Yes, we created a whole new word just for this. Boy, that really sounds good. I'll take one of those.
Yeah, I would too. In 1924, on the 25th, the first Winter Olympics opened in Chamonix in the French Alps. In 1938, on this day, New England Products Incorporated registered the V8 trademark for its combination of 8 vegetable juices. Any guesses as to what those are?
Tomato, carrot, onion,
No
celery,
onion. No onion.
cabbage. I'm just guessing now. Turnips, radishes, and okra.
I was gonna say, I don't even know that I know 8 vegetables, but okay, whatever. I'll play your little game.
Beets is one of. I'm not friends with that many vegetables, but let's see. So tomatoes, spinach, celery, carrot, beet, lettuce, watercress, and parsley. That's the 8 vegetables.
Well, I'm gonna have to
Watercress, lettuce, and parsley. Like, why? What are they offering?
I don't know.
What do they really add?
Maybe some texture.
Maybe. Ugh. I'm gonna leave those out.
Well, then it would just be.
We'll do a V5.
V5.
Yeah, I'm good with the V5. Can I get a V5, please?
Then you don't have to hit yourself in the forehead. You just like poke it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I could have a V5. Yeah. Get rid of that lettuce and parsley.
On the 25th in 1945, Grand Rapids, Michigan became the first city to fluoridate, that's a word, its drinking water to reduce tooth decay. Incidentally, it's only about 120 miles from Flint, which became the first city to get caught trying to kill its people. So, in 1959, American Airlines opened the jet age in the United States with the first scheduled transcontinental flight of a Boeing 707. On the 25th.
How quaint. Only a 707. Yeah, it's just a little one.
Instead of a 007, it's a 707. In 1974, Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's fast food restaurant chain, bought the San Diego Padres for $12 million, which back then I'm sure was quite a lot.
It was, but by today's dollars, yeah, you're right. That'd be like, really? That's it?
Yeah, I could get a loan for that, probably.
They make concessions more than that in a game.
Yeah.
Well, and the New York Mets, 2 years ago, you could buy half, and that was $41 million.
Yeah. Well, what was it? I think the last team that sold in the NFL was the Panthers, and they sold for $2 billion.
That's kind of my point. Yeah, but in today's dollars, that would have been worth a lot. And you know, when he made that purchase, they said, "What a crock." Sorry, it was low hanging fruit. I had to take advantage.
It was low hanging fruit, and I was about to give you the Frankenbeans again.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes, you did. You may not ever want to hear it again, but you heard it here first.
But you heard it here.
On the 25th in 1993, Sears announced the closing of the catalog sales department after 97 years.
Yeah.
That
was pretty crazy.
I remember that. That was a lot of outrage, and but I mean, Sears itself is down to 12 stores nationwide, which is another sad thing. But I mean, the internet took over that anyway.
Well, and I'm sorry, but all of the stuff they sold, I mean, we had one in Winston-Salem. I would go and I would look and I'd be like, this is a bunch of old folk stuff. It's not anything that I was interested in other than the tools.
The tools and the electronics. They were pretty big up on the electronics. You know, I bought a couple of TVs from there. I did, you know, I think there was a Whirlpool something here and there that was purchased. They're still trying to find somebody to buy a Whirlpool, but they did sell off Craftsman to Black & Decker. Yeah, and
I had not heard that.
Something else.
And at one point, they were a behemoth.
Oh yeah,
they were the Amazon of their day.
They certainly were.
You know, I can't tell you how many hours my brother and I would spend through the Sears catalog.
The regular catalog or the Wish book? The Wish book was, I didn't care about the regular catalog. I wanted the Wish book. Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly the Wish book, but every once in a while, just kind of change it up. We'd go through the regular catalog.
Oh, you looked at the bra section. I know what you were doing.
Well.
I know
I can't believe you would suggest such a thing.
I suggest such a thing because I know what I was doing with the Sears catalog.
There's some of that stuff you look at, you're like, how did you get into that?
Yeah, and why are they so pointed? You know, those 50.
We didn't have that in the boys section.
In contrast, I was looking at the tools. So just to clarify, in this hot mess here.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, they were huge.
Yeah.
And gosh, the buildings they used to have in Greensboro, one of their huge distribution centers. Yep. I think that all that's just sitting there. Wow.
Well, and little known fact that the nativity scene that the Crossnor, aka the Children's Home, that was the Sears. That was the original Sears nativity scene that was on the building downtown. That's
wow.
Pieces and parts of that are original. And a couple years ago, well, not a couple, 5-6 years ago, the Norfleet Neft sisters got together and did a rehab. There is a place that still makes those pieces and did back then and can fix it. So it's kind of a cool, that still lives on, right?
Yeah.
Even though Sears is gone, but that's still a tie-in from days gone by. Kind of a cool.
That's cool.
So
that is cool.
Margaret and her sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever need a trivia question.
That's cool. I like trivia. You know I do.
Yeah.
On the 25th in 2018, French fishermen blockade the port city of Calais to protest the practice of electric pulse fishing, which uses electrodes to emit electric waves, stunning the fish, which then make them float upwards and they are scooped up by giant nets. I think you should have to earn them, not shock the crap out of them, you know?
Yeah, it's an inhumane way to fish.
Yeah.
Seems kind of wrong.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
It is cheating. Fish in a barrel. Nope. Fishing in an electrocution fish.
Does that change the taste of them?
I don't think so. I don't think it's enough to like cook anything. It just stuns them. So they're not dead. They're just, oh, what? And they
and one of the fish saying, "Don't tase me, bro. Come on, man."
Just crazy. Who would have thought of that?
Same people who thought about fishing with dynamite.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's stupid.
What?
Lazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. French. It was French that they had to blockade it because people were doing it. No.
It's the French.
Mon
Dieu. French.
Mon Dieu, no. On the 26th, it's National Peanut Brittle Day.
Ooh, yum.
I am a fan.
Me too.
It have to be careful that it doesn't break my teeth, but I do like it. It's also International Sous Vide Day, the birthday of Dr. Bruno Gossault, the father of modern sous vide, which is the process of vacuum sealing food and cooking it in temperature-controlled water, is on the 26th, so that's why they do it. And it's also National Green Juice Day. So, like the smoothie places.
Is that something specific?
Yeah, well, you have like the Green Goddess or the Green Goodness from Nature Made. You have like the smoothie places that use spinach and kale and things like that in their smoothies that, create a green juice. As much as I give crap to vegetables, and they deserve it, I actually don't mind green juice. I can deal with it.
Now, I like Green Goddess salad dressing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's about the extent. I don't know about any other green juice.
Yeah.
We'll have some on the 26th in honor of Green Juice Day.
On the 26th in 1915, Corn Products Refining Company registered the Argo trademark for cornstarch. And no one really knows what Argo stands for. Because I went to their website. I'm like, wonder what that means. And they said it's still a point of contention amongst historians as to what it means. So, nobody knows.
You think somebody by the company might know.
Yeah, but their website says
I guess the ones who started it.
Yeah,
the ones who started it aren't around anymore.
Yeah, because it started way back then. I mean, 1915 is when the trademark was done, but they've been around since the mid to late 1800s. So,
yeah.
In 1965, on the 26th, Noah and Joseph McVicker received a patent for plastic modeling composition of a soft, pliable working consistency. You know what that might be? Play-Doh it is. It was originally designed as a wallpaper cleaner.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would use it that way.
Play-Doh was made to be a wallpaper cleaner, but I guess the people's kids kept playing with it and modeling stuff, so...
Like, it doesn't really clean the wallpaper good, but man, you can make all sorts of little funny figures out of it.
Nuts.
Yeah. All right. I like Play-Doh. I played with a lot of Play-Doh, but I was so anal retentive about it that I would not mix any colors. I wanted it all to be the same, so I would always I would not mix any colors. I had the barber set, so you put it in there and you turn it, and their hair grows, and you cut it and clip it and
cut it off. Yeah. So if somebody had red hair, they didn't get red and blue hair; they just had
red. Right, exactly. I was just anal that way. I'm not proud of it, as Arlo Guthrie said, not proud.
You were a purist.
I was a purist. I was.
Today, do you let your colors touch and mingle?
No. And when I eat one thing at a time. I don't mix my food.
That explains a lot.
I'll eat things that are prepared together, but like burgers and fries, I eat my burger or my fries. I do not eat burger, fry, burger, fry, burger, fry, burger, fry. It's all one thing.
You know it mixes in your stomach, right?
But it does not mix on my tongue. It does not mix on my taste buds. That's what my dad used to say. He says, it's all going to the same place. I said, well, it doesn't start in the same place. So that's what my thing is.
I've been the same way most of my life. I tend to eat one thing at a time. My mom always joked, you ate around your plate. Like, I would start in one section and go all the way around until I ate everything.
Yep.
But I did it like you did, one at a time. Now, I've loosened up on that. I got to say, as I got older, I'm loosening up. Things are actually getting mixed. And saying sometimes. Yeah.
Every once in a while.
It's okay for the foods to mingle.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with food mingling.
Heresy.
I don't have a problem with food mingling. I just don't want to eat them like that. Now, I too have started to deviate from the the OCD part. But it happens still to this day.
Whitney made us some meatloaf the other day, and it turned out really good. And we had, of course, the yellow meal there. We had the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And some green peas. I mean, it's a classic American dish, right?
Yeah.
I actually had bites with the mac and cheese and the meatloaf together with the peas. And let me tell you, it was tasty. It was a new flavor profile, but it was worth mixing.
Next, he's going to tell us he threw it all in a blender and became the green juice.
Yes, that's how I'm secretly planning to take over the world. It's through green juice. We're going to add burgers to that. It's going to be great.
I'm sure there's some research study out there that links it to like psychological things about mixing and not mixing food. We might try that. See what
I'm sure you would uncover all sorts of disturbances.
or later today it'll be some Facebook poll that'll tell you your personality.
It'll just randomly pop up.
It'll pop up and I'll be like, how did it know?
You're listening.
The 27th is the day for Ray. It's National Chocolate Cake Day.
Yes. I like it. I like it already. Sounds good. Let's do that. 27th, Chocolate Cake Day. And is it just one kind of chocolate cake, or do you think we could have like all sorts of creative varieties around it?
Oh, that's a whole nother day. Like don't mix those things.
Okay. So there's an area we don't mix. Chocolate Cake Day is just chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Which means it's got chocolate frosting.
Yes, chocolate cake with chocolate frosting is right up your alley for sure. Incidentally, also on the 27th,
if you want to sprinkle you could put some chocolate chips on top of that. That'd be good. Some little mini chocolate chips.
How about chocolate sprinkles also? Why don't you just load it up?
Actually, no to the sprinkles. The sprinkles don't do anything for me.
Yeah, I don't like sprinkles.
But the chocolate chips. Now, if you want to mix some chocolate chips into the batter as well, that's all good.
All right. Well, to go along with the chocolate cake, in 1521 on 27th, the diet of worms begins. No, it's not a fad diet, but the assembly of the Holy Roman Empire at which Martin Luther made his famous appearance. It's actually pronounced diet of worms. Diet means assembly, and it was in Worms, Germany. So it wasn't a diet of worms. It was the assembly in Worms, Germany. But I like saying diet of worms. In 1880, Thomas Edison was granted a patent for electric lamps giving light by incandescence, which the patent application was filed in November of the year before.
Did you know that we are now taller, bigger than we used to be as a species because of Thomas Edison? Because we have our bodies think it's a longer growing cycle every day because we have light well into the evening.
Well, I did not know that.
I just thought it was because I'm big boned.
That may play a role.
Oh, okay. Shoo!
It's not. It's not because of that.
Oh.
The fact that we've gone, in the last 100 years?
Yeah.
What was the date on that again?
It was the 1880.
1880. All right, so 150 years. We're seeing folks who actually tend to grow more because there's more light. Our bodies are thinking in those terms, kind of like plants.
Well, I'm blaming it on the light then.
It's the light. Yeah.
And not on the yellow meals that I eat.
No. Doesn't have anything to do with yellow meals. Those are essential, necessary, valued, cherished even. So we're not getting no.
Good
Keep
to
your
know.
hands off my yellow milk.
Right.
Draw back a nub.
Mm-hmm.
In 1888, on the 27th, the National Geographic Society was officially incorporated. So
Cool.
a lot of the cool stuff that I watch on Disney Plus is the National Geographic side of it, and I love those.
Have you
things.
seen the new Cosmos?
With Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
There's a new season that's out.
Oh, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, I watched through the first ones because I really like him.
Yeah.
For him to be a scientist and really be a rock star, it's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I just love the way he makes science so accessible, and he's so positive and encouraging to people. But yeah, there's a whole nother season, and it's interesting. I like where he takes us.
I watch a lot of the Wild Russia, as the announcers say, Wild Russia, Wild
Russia.
Yeah, Wild South America, Wild. I like those things where it's just, and then the thing they did with Disney about the behind the scenes at the Animal Kingdom. That's narrated by Josh Gad. He does a really good job, and I just find that fascinating because I love just about everything Disney, evil empire or not, as some people call it. But I love everything Disney and Animal Kingdom, the aspect of Animal Kingdom and the mission of Animal Kingdom I love. So
Yeah. I'll check that out.
Yeah, please do. And speaking of animals, in 1918, on the 27th, the first Tarzan movie was released, the silent film Tarzan of the Apes, which starred Elmo Lincoln and Enid Markey. There's not enough people named.
Household names.
Yeah, not enough people named Elmo and Enid.
Right.
Anymore. Well, it was silent, so you didn't even hear that. You just saw it.
Yeah, but by the time you got up to my birthday, we had a Tarzan yell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in Georgia the Jungle. In 1933, on the 27th, in Saskatchewan, Canada, record-setting hen Lady Victorine died after laying her 694th egg. Talk about rock star.
Who counted all those?
I don't know. I guess, I'm sure they have charts and, accounting things in place. So, I don't know.
That's the job I want. Right there.
One.
High skill, high demand.
3, 4, 5.
I'll be back tomorrow to count again.
Let's count it. 1.
1, 2. All right, that's done. Next. 1. Next. 1, 2.
1.
One
Ooh,
egg. Yeah. 2 eggs. 3 eggs. All right. So on the 27th in 1970, James M. Shatler of G.D. Searle and Company received a patent for the peptide sweetening agent aspartame, which would be marketed as NutraSweet starting in 1981. I can't have aspartame. I don't mind the flavor of it. I just can't have it because it messes with my Tourette syndrome. It's a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
Phenylalanine, which is a natural thing, but it still messes with my brain. Don't like it.
Yeah.
And then in 1984, on the 27th, Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire while filming that Pepsi commercial.
What?
Yeah.
Poor Michael.
Woo, he's hot. On the 27th in 2005, Procter & Gamble announced it agreed to buy Gillette for $57 billion. combining some of the world's best-known household brands.
Ooh, I'm on fire. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Exactly 1 year later, in 2006, the last Western Union telegrams were sent. In 2017, France bans restaurants from offering free refills of sodas and other sugary drinks. The new law aims at limiting the risk of obesity and diabetes.
See, they're not blaming it on the yellow meal, blaming it on the sodas. Just saying.
That's what the problem is. On the 28th, it's National Blueberry Pancake Day. Every time I hear that, I think of Pulp Fiction. Isn't that what Bruce Willis's girlfriend wants? Blueberry pancakes?
Every time I hear blueberry pancakes, I go back to middle school to a track and field meet that our school went to and participated in. And our coach took us out to IHOP the morning before, or the morning of.
Yeah.
And the guy who was running the mile had a big old stack of blueberry pancakes.
And that stack was on the track.
Finish line. Like, Coach, man, seriously, dude, you should not have let him eat all of that. The first time he'd ever run, and he left it all on the track.
Yeah. Well,
Goodness.
On the 28th in 1807, London's Pall Mall became the first street to be lighted by gaslight. On the 28th in 1868, Amira M. Hills of Hockanum, Connecticut, received a patent for improvement in lawnmowers. It was the patent read a new and improved cutting device for mowing grass by hand, and it was basically the first real REEL lawnmower patent in the United States. And for those who don't know, a real lawnmower is the ones that you see on old TV shows and cartoons that is just the circle of twisted blades that you walk and it's silent and makes no noise. Actually, it's very unique mechanism. It cool how it works.
Yeah, I've never used one. I would imagine as long as it was sharp, it would do. Well, for most residential lawns, it would do just fine.
You know, the funny thing is they sell now. I mean, I looked it up to make sure that's what it was, so I didn't misspeak. And there were companies talking about new designs and new innovations in the real lawnmower market. So, I mean, if my yard was, probably, I don't know, not existent for what it is now, I might use one. But
it's a lot of walking for your yard.
Yeah, it's a half acre, which doesn't sound huge, but it's more than I want to push. And besides, my dad comes over whenever it's mowing season, comes over and goes over it with his 72-inch Husqvarna, and I don't have to touch it. So he's done with my yard in about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which it would take me probably an hour to do it if I was using the real lawnmower.
Yeah.
I would bank that it would probably take longer than that.
Yeah, probably. On the 28th, this one's for all three of us, I think. In 1873, Louis Pasteur of Paris, France, received a U.S. patent for improvement in brewing beer and ale. New and useful improvements, yes, in the process of making beer. So, yes.
He's our hero.
He is. We can drink milk because of him, and we can drink beer because of him. In 1878, the first commercial telephone exchange in the United States was installed in New Haven, Connecticut. In 1915, Congress created the U.S. Coast Guard on the 28th. In 1947, Colgate-Palmolive registered the Ajax trademark for soap and household cleaners.
I thought it was even further back than that.
Yeah, I did too, but I guess not. The 29th is National Corn Chip Day. In last night we had these chorizo nachos. And what I did was I took onions and garlic and chorizo, obviously, and browned them all up, got them all wilted and sauteed and all that, added some black beans to it, mixed all that in, laid out these really good corn chips that we get on this 9 by something, this big ass sheet tray. Covered it with the Mexican style cheese, a little bit of this mixture, more cheese, more chips, more chips, more cheese, and more of the mixture, and then more cheese, and then threw that thing in the oven for about 10 minutes, pulled it out, threw on some salsa and some avocados and some shredded lettuce, just a little bit because, you know, I'm not a huge lettuce fan, but I think it was just good for texture. Some green onions and and sour cream and all that stuff. So it was so good.
Wow, that really sounds good.
It was piled it was like 4 inches high, and that whole however long that damn thing was. And the funny thing was, and she probably don't want me saying this, but between Stephanie and me, there was only probably about that much left after that big ass thing. You can't even see it because this thing here, we just couldn't stop eating it.
It's just that good.
It was that good. We both got done. We're like, it was.
Yeah, we don't need to eat again till tomorrow.
Yeah. So it was, and other than a spoonful of peanut butter, I haven't. So on the 29th in 1878, the first patent for glass milk containers was issued to George Lester. On the 28th in 1892, the Coca-Cola Company is incorporated in Atlanta, Georgia.
What a day of rejoicing that was.
In 1978, Sweden became the first country to ban aerosol cans to stop the destruction of the ozone layer. That has reduced a little, but it still happens. In 2004, a 60-ton, 56-foot long sperm whale exploded on a busy street in Taiwan. So, okay. So,
now wait a minute. There's a sperm whale somehow.
Yeah.
In the streets of Taiwan.
Well, I have an explanation.
Don't those normally live in the ocean? Am I just like...
Yeah, usually. Well, a buildup of gas from internal decay caused the explosion. Researchers were taking the whale by truck to the National University for a necropsy. So the whale had beached itself and died on the 17th. No one was injured in the explosion, but blood and entrails showered cars and shops, and traffic was held up for several hours while the mess was cleared up.
He's tearing eyeballs all over the pavement.
I feel injured just listening to this.
I know.
And thinking the smell.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, if it was
and
decay.
That poor guy just walking down the street, minding his own business, and whale guts all over him.
I believe that's an entrail.
Can you see? The guy goes home, he just rings the doorbell, and his wife comes and answers the door, and he's there with, guts hanging off of him, blood. It's like, not a bad day.
The stuff in the sound effect, just dripping off of it.
That's not gonna wash out. Sorry.
You gonna burn all that?
Yeah, I was about to say we're burning that shit.
Whoa! Not funny to the people who were there, but
hilarious to us that weren't.
Yeah.
So on the 30th, it's National Croissant Day.
Oh,
croissant!
Thank you for saying it correctly.
And it's also National Seed Swap Day, which is always the last Saturday of January. Swap seeds with other gardeners in your bioregion, learn, network, and prepare for the gardening season ahead. Connect with like-minded individuals who are passionate about saving seeds and sharing their seed stories. I don't know anybody who does that, but Leah might, because she deals with some organic down-home folk sometimes. So
I just like to go and
drink.
Go over to Myers Garden, and I ain't messing with no seeds. You crazy? Ain't nobody got time for that.
People do still swap seeds, though. I mean, we've got seeds that folks have given us.
And there's that at Old Salem. Don't they do that seed swap that you can go and get the
some of the heirloom varieties that they've got?
Yeah. I think I had never indulged. I don't have patience to.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Stephanie to see if she knows. I don't know.
Now I did for 3 years. I did the old thing of you get the center of an avocado, the avocado pit, and I had like 10 of them because I was like, this ain't gonna work. Let me try 10 of them. And you put the toothpicks in them, and you put them in water, and you let them grow. And well, the thing got so disgusting. And Mel was like, what is this science experiment that you're doing over here? And what is this growing on this? Well, anyway, of the 10, one survived. For about 3 years, I put it in a pot. It had like one leaf on it. Grew real tall, little skinny stalk with one leaf on it. I was like, well, where's the avocado? And it's been 3 years. Come on. Nothing. I finally gave up and threw it out in the backyard.
Well, there's a new movement for that people are taking those and boiling them down and using them to make an avocado tea.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the people who do have time for it, they're the ones doing that. They're also the ones that sit around reading magazines all day, and so yeah, you're right. Nobody has time for that. In 1516, on the 30th, another thing that should interest all of us, especially if you're a fan of German beer at all, Duke Wilhelm IV of Bavaria instituted Reinheitsgebot, which is the German beer purity law and probably the first consumer protection law. So the Reinheitsgebot says you can only use barley, water, and hops to make beer in Germany, to follow the Reinheitsgebot anyway. So you can't add a lot of extra crap. So that's a purity law. In 1906, the New England Confectionery Company, also known as Necco, registered Necco Sweets, trademark for candy. Those are the really powdery wafer things that I am a fan of. Then in 1912, a whole bunch of fruit stuff happened. The California Fruit Growers Exchange registered the Sun-Kissed trademark for lemons, while the Hawaiian Pineapple Company registered the J.D. Dole trademark for canned pineapple. So, there you go. I say a whole bunch. Two things there. In 1933, on the 30th, sponsored by General Mills, the first episode of The Lone Ranger was broadcast on radio station WXYZ in Detroit, Michigan. Somewhat fruit-related, the Beatles in 1969 performed their last time in public on the roof of Apple Studios.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Tenuous. Okay.
In 1991, on the 30th, the Hudson's Bay Company, founded in 1670 as a fur trading company, announces that it is selling its fur business due to declining sales. So, and they are still around. So they've been around now for, 300 years, almost 400 years. So
that's saying something.
Yeah. On the 31st, it's National Brandy Alexander Day. Brandy Alexander is a brandy-based dessert cocktail consisting of cognac, cream de cacao, and cream that became popular during the early 20th century. And Ray, here's one for you. It's National Hot Chocolate Day on the 31st.
Yes.
Now, I'm not a...
You combine that with the Irish Day?
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you, when I was at Diamondback this weekend, the first drink that I had since we were sitting outside, and I don't drink warm drinks usually.
Right.
Was called, it's a bit cold or a tad bit cold, or I don't know what it was called, but it was hot chocolate with Kahlua, Amaretto, and Frangelico.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have Kahlua, which is coffee flavored liqueur. You have Frangelico, which is hazelnut, and Amaretto, which is almond flavored. So you have all those things in this beverage and
in this chocolate.
And it was really, really good.
That sounds awesome.
It was
that's how we're supposed to celebrate this year.
Yeah.
Go to Diamondback, get one of those.
Exactly.
Get two of them.
It was gone in a minute and a half, so I didn't order a second one because that would have just been wasting some money.
That's when it gets dangerous.
Yeah. So the Coca-Cola Company was incorporated in 1892. 1 year later, on the 31st, the trademark was recorded for Coca-Cola.
Wow. I think they waited a year.
Yeah. In
quaint.
Well, compared to other things that we've talked about, sometimes they'll make something and wait 50 years before they trademark it. You wouldn't get away with that today because people are just money grabbing right now. In 1933, on the 31st, Dracket Chemical of Cincinnati registered the Windex trademark for liquid cleaner for glass, and the Greek people went nuts. No offense to the Greek people. That's just what?
It's not just for glass, though. I mean, that Windex fixes everything.
Yes.
It's like duct tape. It's for everything.
Yes. In 1940, that's what the redneck Greeks say. That and duct tape, they go well together. It fixes everything. They go good together. Yeah. In 1942, the manufacture of civilian vehicles in the United States was halted due to World War II. And in 1980, which is, 87 years to the day since its trademark was recorded. In 1980, due to record high sugar prices, Coca-Cola began substituting high fructose corn syrup for half the sucrose or sugar used in Coca-Cola. It was never the same. And then 5 years later, they tried to change the recipe altogether. Didn't work. 3 months after that was back to the old recipe, but instead of sugar, they were still using sucrose or high fructose corn syrup. But if you get the Mexican Cokes, you can get it with all sugar. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I did not know that distinction.
Yep. So there's your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Eagler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, gross us completely out with the sperm whale explosion, and giving us hope with a couple of chocolate things and beer things. So, the Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Wheeler's Dog, and Asylum, Tales of the Deborah Diaries podcast. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. This is a reminder to all of our listeners, and it's good practice, not just now, but for always, wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. And if you don't know how long 20 seconds is, because that's the way you should go 20 seconds and sing this.
Daniel is traveling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain. Oh, and I can see Daniel waving goodbye.
Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, the album that song was released on, turns 48 years old tomorrow.
Wow. Don't Shoot Me, I'm Just a Piano Player.
Yep. Well, Leah, it was good having you back this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have food news, send an email to Tim or Leah or Ray at themanwhoatetown.com. You can also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who number 8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. And now you can call, leave a voicemail for the podcast by calling 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422 NUM. Leave a voicemail, and we'll play it on the podcast. 336-422-6862 or NUM. Well, that's it for this week.
That was a deep subject.
Yeah. Well, that's a deep subject, as opposed to an which is even deeper. So, well, my name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And I'm Leah.
And we're closing this recipe box. Boom!
Big box.
Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.